Oh, hello everyone, welcome back to Rathbone Manor. I've been to the car boot sale this morning, but it's very quiet and I only managed to get a couple of tools and 2 books for Mrs Rathbone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to include a few bits and pieces that I've picked up at the charity shop recently too. So let me bring the camera down here and we'll have a look what I've got. Okay. So, so there's a couple of books for Mrs Rathbone, so we'll start by taking a look at those. Okay then, so Mrs Rathbone loves all these sort of like historical novels, this sort of thing. This one, she hasn't read Emma Hornby before, but she has just started to read Lynn Andrews and quite likes her, so this is the 3rd Lynn Andrews book she's got, and I've picked up 2 from the car boot sale for her, and she quite likes Lynn Andrews. Emma Hornby apparently is. Emma Hornby's page-turning sagas are perfect for fans of Dilly Court and Rosie Goodwin, both of which Mrs Rathbone reads. Okay then, so let's move along to the tools that I picked up at the car boot sale this morning then. Both of these tools came from my favourite tool stall because that's the only place I could find who was selling decent vintage tools, almost. And I paid £2 for these little fellows, as that's £1 each, so that's not bad. So let's take a look at the slip joint pliers first, shall we? I thought, well, they look quite a nice pair of pliers. I like the handles, I like the style, they look alright. The only markings on it is China, and that's the only mark on it. The nut's been staked quite nicely, as you can see there. Jaws appear to be in quite nice condition. Has that been worn at all? I think it's probably been a bit worn more than the other one, maybe. It's kind of a rough finish. They've been forged, as you can see. The other reason I like them is the cutters. These are bypass cutters again, as you can see, with the usual gap there. But they actually, these ones actually get hold of and trap whatever you're cutting in there, because very often they're just flat. And these ones are, as you can see, like half moon styly there. And the grips are nice blue, this soft touch grips, which I quite like, double dipped. And I thought, yes, they'll do for my collection of slip joint pliers. They're a little bit stiff for some reason, just this part just here. But I think they're a fairly modern made. They're not made that long ago. They're certainly not what I'd class as vintage pliers, but to be honest, they don't look too bad at all, really. I quite like them. Quite a nice small pair. They'll go in my collection quite nicely, thank you. Next up, a vintage saw set. I quite like these things. I've already got a set of these already, but I think they're a slightly more modern vintage. As you can see, these are a nicely hammerite style finish on them. You can see they're fairly modern though, can't you guys, really? Made in Germany. So I'd imagine... Oh, Garanto. Well, that's interesting because these two are Garanto, as you can see there. Garanto Fine, DRGM. And well, the other thing I like about these ones is the detail, and they got like these dragon scale finish here. Look, I quite like that. You can see that, guys. The finish in here is quite. The detail is quite nice on these. A lot nicer than these ones here. So these are obviously a fairly modern pair. Whereas these ones are going back a little bit. I've done a quick bit of research on the interwebs on these, and these could be pre-1945 manufacture. They're quite nice. As I say, I like the dragon scale effect on there. We've got nicely embellished handles too. Very nice indeed. I really like those actually. I'm going to have to give those a clean up, possibly a dip in the vinegar. See what they come out like. I think somebody's had a go at rubbing off what was on here. What's on that? Anything on there? No, that's just blank. So somebody's had a go at having a look what we got in here. So quite a nice vintage pair of saw set for setting the teeth on your wood cutting saws. Alrighty then, let's take a look at what I picked up from the charity shop over the last few weeks. Okay, so here we are. These two I picked up last week, and this little fellow here I picked up yesterday from the car boot sale. So let's have a look, shall we, what we got. This here I found out the back of the charity shop quite a few weeks ago. Souvenir of South Africa playing cards. So these, from what my research leads me to believe, these are circa 1910. The box is a bit broken because somebody's put some sellotape there to keep the cards in. It's actually a two-part, or at least it was. If we can get it apart. There we go. It was a two-part box, and it comes with this little booklet here. This details all of the playing cards which live in here. So let's get them out and you can have a look at them, guys. Hopefully. Now these are all gilded on the edges, so that's quite nice. And we have this character on the back here who is apparently Johan van Riebeek. No idea who he was. Maybe some of you guys out there know who he was. Anyway, let's look at the cards themselves, look. They've all got pictures from South Africa back in the day. So we've got all sorts of things on here, like High Street, Grahamstown, a gold mine at Johannesburg. The Joker is Rough Diamonds, Kimberley. Apparently this is the mail steamer of Cape Town. And you can see the old-fashioned cars there. Horses and carts with stuff on. And that must be the mail steamer up there. A rather nice seaside view here from Humewood Port, Elizabeth. And of course we have the obligatory natives that actually live there. We have hairdressing, Zululand, and a Zulu headman here, outside of their little huts. And of course every card has a different picture from around South Africa as well. Too many for us to take a look at here, so I should imagine that someone's turned out their grandparents' or great-grandparents' house and found these and handed them into the charity shop. A very interesting find, I'm sure you'll agree. Next up is something that I never realised that I really needed until I found it in the back of the charity shop. What have we got here? It's a tuning fork. I've often seen them on the television, but I've never actually come across one in real life. This one is John Walker, England. British Standard A. You can see some of the original blue finish still on it. I'm not sure how old this thing is, but it still works. You can hear that ringing away there. Hang on. How cool is that? So something else I didn't realise I needed was a tuning fork. All I need now is a piano to go with it. Right, let's take a look at this week's star buy. What have we got here then? Well, it's a very nice croc skin style finish leather case. What have we got in here then? Let's have a look. This thing weighs quite a bit actually, guys. We have another Rolls razor. As if I haven't got enough Rolls razors. Well, I've got one, and that'll be this one here in its original box with its original instructions. So that's cool, I like that. But this one, again, you press a little button and the little hatch opens out, and we've got the little sharpening device, because we've got two different grades of sharpening going on here, as you can see. And if we lift it out a little bit, because you can't take this bit out actually. If we lift it out a little bit, there's the handle for the razor itself. And to sharpen these things, you simply if I can get hold of it again, here we go. Right, you simply push them up and down like this here on the sharpening medium in there. And what you basically do is, very carefully, because these things are razor sharp obviously, you turn it around and take it off, and we can then mount it, hopefully. Let's have a look here, let's back that out a little bit. You can then mount it onto the, I can feel how sharp that is too, so there we go. So you mount it a bit more central than that, I'm thinking. Right, there we go. There we go, that's it mounted and ready to go. And we have this little safety bar here, which is in theory supposed to stop you cutting yourself. How sharp is this? Oh yeah, bloody hell. Seems to be taking the hairs off of my finger there quite nicely. So there we go, that's the handle and the sharpening system in there. And so we've got a rather nice leather case going on here too with the crop finish. And what have we got in here then? Well, what we've got in here is Rolls Razor Imperial blade. We have got a new razor blade, look. Dry well after shaving, it says here. We've got exactly the same thing, look. Look at that. It's got some writing on it too, guys, so be careful with this. There we go. It's got the patent numbers. Best Sheffield steel. Right, there we go. So we put that back in the little case, all nice and safe. So look at that. So this has been in, again, probably somebody's grandfather's or great-grandfather's attic for decades and decades and decades. They've turned it out and decided it's going to the charity shop. And of course it's mine now, along with my other Rolls Razor, which just came in its original box. But how cool is that? I'm going to have to, I think I'm going to have to try and have a shave with one of these fellas here, just to see how good they are actually. See if I can chop my face to shreds. Alrighty guys, so that's a look at today's car boot sale and this week's and last week's charity shop finds. Okay then guys, so please feel free to let me know down there in the comments section which is your favourite of this lot here. My favourite is obviously the Rolls Razor here. An interesting find, I like that a lot actually. The South African playing cards, they're souvenir, they're quite interesting too. And of course I just had to have for my tool collection, because let's face it, this is a tool guys. The tuning fork, just had to have that. I've never seen one before, certainly never owned one, so I thought yeah, definitely got to have that then. Alright guys, well don't forget you can join me on Instagram. You've probably seen some of this stuff on Instagram already. I've started to do YouTube shorts as well, so you can keep an eye out for some of those. If there's any more turning up, there probably will be. Don't forget you can subscribe to my channel here on YouTube, because that would help me no end. If you enjoyed today's content, please give me a thumbs up. Thank you very much indeed for that. Thank you very much for watching. I don't know if I'll be going along to the car boot sale next week or not just yet. See what the weather's like. And basically that's it. So I hope you enjoyed watching the video today guys. I hope you'll pop back another week. I'll try and get some more in-depth reviews on this lot done. And I will catch you in a future video then. Thanks for watching.